Hi, welcome back to our Getting Closure podcast. I'm James. I'm here with Cheryl Stainsby. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, James.
So we're going to talk this week about something that I think a lot of people really have had it happen in their life if they've run a business or thought about it. Cheryl, what's it like when a business is in trouble?
James, it's often debilitating.
What do you mean by that?
For the business owner. The business owner is just totally preoccupied with the phone calls they're getting because they haven't paid their bills, the tax debt, which they know is due, maybe the staff superannuation, which is due and they can't pay it. They don't want to let their family know often that the business is in trouble. And so they're terrified.
Why don't they let their family know?
Because they're frightened that they'll be seen as a failure.
Right.
And look, I know that I'm maybe being a little bit gender biased here in saying that sometimes men find this a lot more difficult to share with their partners than women do. But a lot of men really see that when their business is failing, this is a personal failure. This is a failure of them as a guy.
Well, that's not unrealistic when you think about it, because if you say to a lot of people like, hi, I'm John, I'm a plumber, I'm Sally, I'm an architect. Like, a lot of their business is kind of part of who they are.
They are.
So,
that's right, yeah.
So if some part of their business that is part of their identity doesn't work, that goes to the core of who you are.
It does, James. And what we all need to be mindful of too is that for most people in small business, and I've been a small business owner all my life, so I understand that, this is your life's work. For a lot of people, they set up this business to give their family a better lifestyle, buy a house, have a lifestyle that all the family could enjoy. And now suddenly, when it looks like it's not working, it's just they feel like they're letting down their family, and it's so difficult for them to face this. And they feel like they're facing it alone because they've got nobody to talk to. They don't want to admit to their family, their friends, maybe their other business owners that they're friendly with, their suppliers. They don't want to admit that there's a problem, so they're struggling with this internally on their own. They're not sleeping. Often they're drinking. A lot of drinking goes on during this. And so if this kind of rings a bell, if you're sort of hearing something here that sounds familiar to you, I would say that it's time to have a chat to somebody who basically can help you.
How often, though, and we've had this conversation over many years now of professional careers, how often is it before, why is it do people come to you so late? Because this stuff's probably been going on for a while before someone seeks advice. So why do people put that off?
I think that if somebody seeks advice, then they often have to admit that there's a problem.
Yeah, right.
And once you admit there's a problem, then you've got to do something about it. And while we're all just pretending that it's not happening, while you're still pretending that, the next big sale is going to get you out of trouble, you're going to win gold lotto, mum's going to die and leave you some money, while we're all still pretending that it's all okay, you actually don't have to face the reality and what might be the worst case scenario. And if you've heard horror stories, you probably think it's going to be a lot worse than it actually is. And quite often when we do see clients who've spent years sometimes in denial and afraid to face the truth, when they actually do sit down with somebody, the actual reality is not nearly as bad as they thought that it was going to be.
So that's kind of good news, but so if you're in a family where your partner or a member of your family is running a business, what are the signs maybe that you should be watching out for and trying to steer them towards someone like you? What should I be watching out for?
Look, I think you'd be watching out for calls that aren't being answered.
Yeah, right.
You'd be watching out for mail that's not being opened. If there's a stop of supply of a certain product, it might be because the bill hasn't been paid.
So it's not even as extreme as going to the shopping centre and the credit card doesn't work?
No, it's not as extreme as that.
Yeah, right.
If your partner is just preoccupied all the time, then maybe you know,
reach out.
maybe reach out to them. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look. We might consider go into that a bit more detail next time. So thanks, Cheryl, again. Let's for the great podcast today.
Thank you, James.